Hi everybody. So the item I've chosen for my artifact is this sweater. So as you can see, it says Montcalm basketball on it. So for my first placement in practicum, I chose to become a volunteer assistant basketball coach for the senior boys basketball team at the Montcalm Secondary School. So why did I choose this as my artifact? Well, it's because I believe that sports and extracurriculars are a great way for students to learn the valuable life skills that we as educators are trying to teach them, but also to go one step further towards helping our students. So, if you ask me, sports and art and music are the best mediums to get beyond the walls of difference that separate people in society. So you think about the segregational differences like race, ethnicity, socioeconomics, gender, and other ways of classifying people. They don't matter nearly as much in sports. So I would argue that extracurricular clubs and athletic programs are one of the school's most powerful tools in shaping the next generation. Helping my students to grow as bright, ethical, and mentally and emotionally strong individuals is the foundational pillar of my teaching philosophy. And I think that everything about the sports environment and the gym and everything you can teach there as a coach it's incredibly valuable for the students. And I think it's an easier process in there to get some of that stuff across to them. So Davies and Guppy state that no one is fully determined by their environments. Nevertheless, these environments do produce effects that are far from random. These effects are incredibly influential, and I know firsthand, as someone who has been in those extracurricular clubs, what that kind of environment can do to help you grow as a student, as a person, as an athlete. Okay? So why do I think this will help me as a teacher? Well, building a rapport with my students, for one, I think is huge. You know, in a classroom, you try to get to know your students, but sometimes there's that teacher-student dichotomy, that difference, that power dynamic, that's not as conducive to that, and it's difficult because you're also trying to teach the lesson, the material, the curriculum stuff. So moving that dynamic you have here and that difficulty, it becomes a little bit easier when you move it over into that coaching relationship with your players. I don't know what it is, but your players come to you for advice, and maybe that difference isn't so much there, so it's easier for you to help them grow those life skills and develop that personal stuff and help them at times when they're going through difficulty. So this is one of, if not the main goal of education, to ensure that students are okay, safe, and that we can help them grow as students and people. Stewart, from our Week 2 readings, discusses the purpose of education. So the good or well-being of the individual, the public good or the good of society, vocational preparation, these kinds of things. So let me ask you, what do you think that the purpose of schooling is? Is it teaching information or valuable skills? Is it simply babysitting while parents go to work? I will quote Stewart once again when I agree that the conception of education as transformative and empowering enables individuals to achieve a greater meaning and sense of who they are and how they relate to the world. In my personal opinion, engaging in sports or extracurriculars helps students to formulate a stronger sense of identity, which is difficult at that time when they're going through puberty in high school, and it's a confusing process for many students. Well, at the same time, sports is also assisting, these programs help to develop many of the valuable life skills that will help students to succeed in their future. So skills like goal setting, collaboration, accountability, and self-reflection. Self-reflection is huge. Bolton said that engaging in reflective practice and reflexivity is the path to attaining personal growth. So personal growth is a huge component in sports and athletics. Being reflexive and challenging your views and being critical on your skills and understandings is what allows them as athletes to improve on them. So the gym is an area of improvement, of bettering yourself, your personal discipline, and your own skills. Teamwork and collaboration, these are all a bunch of really useful skills that are easily developed here when sometimes it's a little bit more difficult in a classroom. So mutual respect, goal setting, discipline, developing a good work ethic, healthy lifestyle choices, and possibly what I would argue is the most important, especially in today's current society, is a growth mindset. So teaching your students to not succeed, teaching them to work hard when they don't succeed is incredibly valuable. So, struggling in the face of adversity is okay. It's not the end of the world. A lot of students and a lot of young people these days have anxiety and depression. The levels are higher than they have ever been. And I think that as a coach, you can really help to develop that growth mindset in that environment, really helping them to grow as people and to not give up and to learn to cope in healthy ways and not abuse alcohol or drugs or violence, which aren't conducive to their success, which is ultimately what we're there for. So I hope you've learned a little bit about this and what the benefits of really engaging in those extracurriculars are. My challenge to you, for all of you watching, is to go out in your next placements and when you go into your teaching careers and go become a volunteer coach. Go get to know your students that extra mile, and really just put yourself out there so that you can help them. You'd be amazed at what that kind of environment, that kind of relationship will do for your students and yourself. Thank you.